Do you want to unlock the potential to feel more happiness, more joy, and more just ecstatic love? Hey friends, my name is Cece and welcome to my little corner of the internet where I share my life with you through these videos, hopefully to inspire you and to help you grow. As I touched on in my previous video on breathwork, this concept of the body-mind, which is basically your body is your subconscious mind. All 50 trillion of your cells hold all of the information, all of the memories, all of the feelings and emotions that you have ever experienced is held in your cells, in your body, hence the term body-mind. Last time in the breathwork video, we talked about how you hold stress in your body and how breathwork is one of the best ways, the easiest ways, the fastest ways to release that stress from your body, reactivate your parasympathetic nervous system, come back to the present moment and get out of that fight or flight response. Right, so that's what we talked about last time. If you haven't watched that video, you should definitely go give it a watch. I will link it somewhere. Watch it after this one if you haven't seen it yet. Today I want to dive a little bit into other emotions and other emotions that are held in the body, not just stress. We already know that all of these emotions, feelings, things get held in our body, right? In our body mind, our subconscious mind. And sometimes they get stuck there or hidden or suppressed in our bodies, and we aren't even necessarily always aware that we're holding on to stuff like that. This can be due to trauma, to suppression, to societal pressures, to not be able to, let out your sadness or let out your anger or your fear, in public places. You're told to stop crying or calm down, things like that. It's not socially acceptable often to express these big emotions that we all feel. And therefore, this causes it to get stuck or trapped or just held in your body. Whatever these emotions are, anger, sadness, fear, anxiety, depression, all of these things are part of being a human. We have all of these emotions, from happy to sad, from peaceful to fearful. Like, all of this is part of the human experience. We are meant to feel these feelings, right? And that's why it's so important to let these feelings have a spotlight sometimes. Let them be expressed in a way that's safe and comfortable, and you're not gonna get shunned from society because you wanted to throw a temper tantrum and you did it inside your house, alone and in a safe environment. So that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about today. So why is this important? You might be asking, why should I feel all these feelings? Why can't I just suppress the anger? I don't want to be angry. Being angry isn't fun. Being sad isn't fun. Why should I let these emotions come out? And something that I've learned from a few of my incredible mentors is there's kind of this spectrum of emotions, okay? Going all the way from the happiest, the joyous of joys to the grief, the sadness, the fear, the anger. You can kind of think of it a little bit like a wave. The higher you go, the deeper the undercurrent is, okay? So the higher, the happiest you can reach, well, also that's gonna uncover some sadness, some grief, some anger. That's gonna be at the bottom of that wave. And not that you're gonna be crashing up and down. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just the higher the wave, the lower the undercurrent, the bigger it is, the wider the spectrum is, the more ability you will have to be happier, feel more happy, feel more joy, feel more love. But that's not without feeling a little sadness and feeling anger. Like it goes both ways. As if you draw out the anger, if you draw out the sadness, your happiness, your joy, your love is also going to expand the other way. So this big spectrum, it might be here. Maybe you feel happy, you feel great, you feel good, and you kind of suppress this sadness, right? So maybe your spectrum's like this big, but then maybe you kind of dig into your sadness, you dig into your fear, and you start feeling those feelings. You're gonna feel happier. You're gonna feel more love. You're gonna feel more peaceful. Like it's gonna expand out both ways. Now, it's not a bad thing to experience more, right? You want to experience more. You want to reach the highest highs, but it doesn't come without the lowest lows, and that's not a bad thing. It's allowing those emotions to have a voice, to have a spot at the microphone, to let them be heard and felt, and which will allow for more space on the other end. A great example of this is in the movie Inside Out. Little spoiler if you haven't seen, but joy needs sadness. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. So these emotions that we are experiencing, right? Happy, sad, peaceful, fearful. Some of those happy ones are easy or more accessible to embody and to move through our bodies, right? We laugh and we smile and we give hugs and things like that embody those love and happy emotions. But when it comes to anger, when it comes to fear, when it comes to grief and sadness, these aren't ones that are easily embodied. Right now, you may be thinking something like, I want to experience more joy, more peace, more love, but I don't know how to embody or express the sadness, the anger, the grief in a safe way. I don't know how to do that. Or maybe it sounds a little scary or nerve-wracking to face some of these big emotions. You never know what might come up, especially if it's suppressed or ignored or locked away somewhere in your body, which is totally valid. It is kind of scary, but the feeling of release when you embody these emotions, when sometimes you don't even know what comes out of you, it just comes out and gets released, and this wave of relaxation will come over you, and you don't even have to know what emotion you just embodied necessarily. You don't have to know what childhood past thing that it could have came from. Like, it doesn't matter what the mind necessarily thinks. It's all about getting it out through the body. And you'll be able to more easily welcome in these, quote unquote, negative emotions easier, and you'll be welcoming them in with open arms and just unconditional love. It'll be great. So now I'm going to teach you a little somatic embodiment practice that you can do on your own to embody these emotions, work them through your body, and just let them go, release them, and feel that relaxation expand your spectrum, okay? For this embodiment practice, if you already know an emotion that you want to work through, to embody, to give a little bit of a voice to, you can go ahead and choose that emotion, whether it's, sadness, grief, anger, anxiety, fear, any of those emotions. You can choose one. Or if you don't really know what you're feeling, but you're not feeling great and you just want to release whatever comes out, you don't have to pick one. This is just a great way to move any big emotion through your body, whatever it may be, even if you don't have a name for it. That's totally okay. And so what you'll do next is you'll pick 3 to 4 songs. This practice will just last 10 minutes or so. And any songs that you can just move to, just kind of let your body just shake and wiggle and dance and whatever. Okay, so you'll just pick a few songs. I would highly suggest doing this in a place alone if you have that space, either in your bedroom or your living room, anywhere that's preferably alone. This is cultivating that safe space for this emotion to come through, and a safe space for you to not feel judgment from anybody or anything, because you're all alone. You're just here for you. So nobody is there to judge you. And yeah, you want to make sure that you have space also to move around. You'll start by coming to a comfortable seated position, just strong spine, just closing your eyes and taking a few meditative breaths here. Breathing into that emotion. We'll use grief as an example right now. And so you'll just ask your body to bring forth a sensation where you might be feeling this grief. So you'll just kind of meditate for a few moments and listen to your body, bringing up any new sensations you might feel that embody that grief. Okay? And if when your body reveals that place to you, let's say it's in your chest, you'll start to breathe into that area, expanding it, letting it start to move the rest of your body. So you'll have your music playing, and let's say that emotion of grief or whatever it may be, it's in your chest, maybe it's in your hands. You'll just start to move it with your breath. And then as you keep going, just letting your body move in whichever ways. You can begin to stand up and just like move in whatever ways feel good, just letting it out, shaking your arms and your legs, your head, and maybe if it's anger, maybe you pound into pillows or the couch or your bed. If it's sadness, maybe you're moving really slowly, and whatever movements come through you, you're just wanting to move the energy, move the emotion through your body. Let it have a microphone even. Let sounds come out. What does anxiety sound like? What does fear sound like? Let it out. Let it speak. Moving through that with your body, letting out any sounds, letting out tears, letting out anger, letting out fear, just letting it all go, moving your body, making these sounds, maybe big sighs come out, maybe growling or screaming or little gremlin noises, whatever is coming out of you, just let it out. Whatever this emotion wants to do, how this emotion wants to be embodied. And remember, this is only like 3 to 4 songs, right? This is maybe 10 minutes of embodiment. If that feels too long, just do one song, right? You can tailor this to whatever you need, right? But you don't want to, I wouldn't necessarily go longer than that. This can have a container. This can have a safe space, a safe container to embody these big, sometimes hard, ugly, scary emotions. When that last song ends, you can come back to a seated position, or maybe you just stand swaying a little bit. Maybe you're holding yourself. Maybe it feels good to crouch into a little ball and just hold yourself and give yourself that love, that acknowledgement, and give yourself whatever you need. If you need to lay down, maybe coming back to a seat, maybe holding your hand on your heart or your belly. And you'll come back to your breath, calming down your nervous system, maybe doing some sighs, some big, big exhales. Bringing your nervous system back to its relaxation, thanking your body for showing you this emotion, for releasing this emotion and letting go of it. And after that, you can either journal about your experience, maybe go into a meditation, or whatever feels good for you next. Anytime you need to release a big emotion, if you're feeling super stressed or anything like that, or you just are sad and angry or whatever, and you don't even know why, you're just like having a bad day. Like, doing this exercise is so beneficial to move these things through our body. It just allows these emotions to not get stuck or trapped or suppressed in our body. We welcome them and love them, right? We let them be embodied. And so as you start to do this, as you start to push into that lower frequency of emotions, that higher frequency is just gonna keep on expanding. That spectrum is just gonna get wider and wider and wider. Expansion in both directions. The more you get into the sadness, the more you get into the joy, inside out. I hope you guys enjoy trying out this somatic exercise for working through these big emotions. Please, please, please reach out with any questions that you might have. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe and see me next week, I will be here. Hit subscribe. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I love you all. Ciao, ciao.